This is the MHS Pawdcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High. I'm Avi Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
Well, we're just about to wrap up our first week, both of us, sophomore year. Josh, first impressions of sophomore year?
It's not bad so far. My teachers seem pretty good, but I know it's obviously going to get harder, so I guess I'll have to be ready for that.
Well, we're just back from summer vacation. Josh, what are some highlights of your summer?
Going to Montreal and Quebec was pretty fun. I did that with my sleepaway camp. 8-hour bus ride wasn't that fun, but no, I had a good summer break.
So today on the show, after a very successful first year of the MHS Podcast, we return to open a new school year. We did have the show with the Mud Run, but this is our first real show of the year. After a large helping of school announcements from Josh Hyman, he and I will preview the upcoming fall sports season, highlighting what is to come for all 6 MHS sports teams in the fall. Then, I will be joined by junior Sarah Terracina to promote the Astronomy Club and their upcoming stargazing event. Before all that, here's Josh with the announcements.
First, attention all parents. Meet the Teachers Night, led by the MHS PTO, is this Thursday, September 13th at 7 p.m. A reminder that there's no school on Wednesday, September 19th, for observance of Yom Kippur. School spirit tastes great. Make dinner a selfless act by participating in a fundraiser to support the MHS girls soccer team. Come to Chipotle at 349 Lake Avenue in Metuchen on Tuesday, September 25th, between 5 and 9 p.m. Tell the cashier you're supporting their cause to make sure 33% of the proceeds are donated to the MHS girls soccer team. And finally, be sure to stay updated on the school website under the daily announcements page to keep up to date on everything happening at MHS. That's all we've got for today.
Thank you, Josh. It's time for the Metuchen Sports Report here on the MHS Podcast. I'm Eddie Kalegi. Friday night, a tough loss for the Metuchen Bulldog football team, falling on the road to Bernards 40-0, but they can look up their first home game of the season next Saturday against Johnson. In girls soccer news, the girls varsity team beat Middlesex 3-2. Mya Stolarski, returning from injury, grabbed the game-winning goal with 9 minutes left. She had 2 goals in the game. Natalie, too, had one as well. Both of the senior captains helped lead Metuchen to the big victory. And how about field hockey? They had a great win over Sayreville the other day, and they've got a big game coming up on Wednesday facing South Plainfield, that same South Plainfield team they played and beat for the GMC title last fall. Now let's move into a fall sports preview here with me and Josh, as we'll preview what's to come for all 6 sports teams this fall.
With the fall sports season on the way, it's time to discuss what to expect in the coming months. We'll start with the girls soccer team. Coming off a successful season that saw them reach the CJ Group 1 state semis, what can we expect from them this season?
Well, for this team, a lot of players graduated. 9 seniors who had key roles in the team graduated. Most notably, Rory Joselle. She had a big role on the team last season. 16 goals, 20 assists. However, they will have key senior leaders in Mya Stolarski, returning from injury to help lead the way. And Stolarski has put up a remarkable 57 goals, 38 assists over the past 2 seasons, and earned all GMC honors last year despite her injury. She's been taking it easy in scrimmages and practices, but she's a proven scorer and a proven leader, and will be a major factor. The fellow senior captains, Juliana Mullen and Natalie too, will also have big impacts on and off the field for this team. I really think they're going to have a good chance at not just making the state semis, maybe they can go even further and maybe the state championship.
Yeah, you mentioned the record of one of those girls. That's very impressive. They're definitely going to miss those seniors who graduated, though, so we got to see how that works out. So, shifting to boys soccer, after being eliminated in the second round of the CJ2 playoffs last season, what must this team do to take the next step?
Well, first thing, they just have to trust in each other. Similar to the girls soccer team, they lost a lot of key seniors, specifically Jack Bradley, but this is still a good team. You got Avi Hogan-Appell and a lot of other seniors and a lot of good juniors and sophomores on this team. If they trust in each other, stay healthy, and they can successfully defend home field. They had a couple tough losses at home last season, but if they can defend home field, I think they can be great this year.
All right. So, moving to the gridiron, the football team only won twice last season, with only 1 victory in the Blue Division, that coming in lopsided fashion over Highland Park. In year 2 under Coach Warnock, what must this team do to win more games?
Well, you mentioned it's only year 2 under Coach Warnock. Last year was the first year with Coach Warnock, and he was just adjusting to the system. There were a lot of tough games in the schedule last season as well, playing Asbury Park, among others, and there was a lot of talent in the Blue Division last year. The major deal this season is that the seniors on the offensive end have to step up, specifically quarterback Will Horanich, running back Jaden Rojas, and O-lineman Anthony Lembo. The one thing that could hurt this team is the fact that the wide receiving core from last year has been completely depleted because seniors Sean McCadden and Daniel Russell graduated and Amari Whitehead moved away. So that's your wide receiver 1, 2, 3, all gone. So the new receiving core is going to have to step up, but until they've adjusted to the system, Jaden Rojas is going to have to carry a lot of the load on running back, and Will Horanich, with these new receivers playing in new roles, he's just going to have to adjust with them. Other thing that's important with this team is their defense, because they gave up 3 or more touchdowns in 7 out of 10 games last season. With an offense that is lacking receivers, putting more of a load on the quarterback and the running back than ever before, this can't happen. So that they don't want to replicate that, and they can't replicate it if they want to win more than 2 this season.
Yeah, definitely. And what you said, this is definitely probably going to be a ground season for the football team since they lost their receivers, like you said. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they overcome these challenges that they were faced with. And, well, that's not all the fall sports MHS offers. Talk to us about the upcoming seasons in the cross-country, field hockey, and lastly, the girls' tennis team.
Well, we'll start with cross-country. And I want to go back to last year because we had Coach Halloran on the show, and he praised so many of his senior runners that he had. Well, all those seniors are gone, so he's going to have to look towards the incoming seniors to help lead the way on both the boys' and the girls' side. This team, we know that what they can do. We know Coach Halloran's ability as a coach, and we know he knows that there's a lot of talent in the underclassmen levels. He's just going to need those underclassmen to shine on this team, and then I think they can be successful in cross country. Moving to field hockey, this team is very underrated, but they're one of the MHS teams that is always competitive. But actually, last year's GMC title was their first since 2006, so obviously, coming off of a GMC title, they should have a good shot. But the big reason that I think this team could be great again is because they have a lot of stars returning. They were not hit with the senior bug. There were not that many big seniors that graduated. Some of the keys on the team are Sarah Jenny, who's now a senior, Emily Glutz, who's now a junior, helping to lead this offense, and then Senior Kamryn Chaudry in goal. And Chaudry especially, she had a remarkable season last year. According to NJ.com, she was one of the premier goalies in the state heading into the season. After that great 2017, she only allowed 17 goals in 20 games and posted 8 shutouts. That is very impressive and towards the top of the state. This team could seriously have a chance at contending for more than just a conference title this year. And then, moving on to tennis, the big question with the success of the girls' tennis program, it lies around junior Erica Rems, because she had an award-winning freshman campaign and it climaxed in a singles crown in the GMC tournament. But after that, reaching the high point in freshman year, she struggled last season. She fell in the semis of the GMC tournament, and then she was upset in the first round of the state singles, which nobody saw coming. It'll be interesting to see if she can have even more glimpses of her freshman year this season, and if she does, I think that this team can have a serious chance of contending, and if she can repeat freshman year, then this team is going to be well known all around the state.
Sounds like things are looking up for Metuchen High School fall sports, huh, Eddie?
Yep, for sure. So when we come back, Sarah Terracina will join us to talk about the Astronomy Club. First, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Having trouble seeing the board in class? Do you need safety glasses for your school sport? If you answered yes to either of these questions, head over to Optique Unique, the eyeglass store at 406 Main Street in Metuchen. Optique Unique does it all. Not only do they offer eyewear for all ages, they also sell sports-specific safety glasses for kids and adults. Call them at 732-321-2020. That's 732-321-2020, or visit OptiqueUnique.com. Do you want to build character, build confidence, or even build yourself? All that and more can be accomplished at the Black Belt Institute at 23 New Street, right here in Metuchen. Students of all ages have been able to learn respect, discipline, fitness, and self-defense from their experienced instructors for over 20 years. Whether you're an adult looking for stress reduction or know someone young who has interest in Taekwondo, the Black Belt Institute is the place to go. The Institute takes a fun approach at teaching the rules of self-defense, instilling in their students an I-can-do-it attitude. Interested in taking a class? Call them at 732-205-9797 or visit their website at blackbeltinst.com. Once again, that's 732-205-9797 or blackbeltinst.com. The Black Belt Institute, Metuchen's leader in martial arts and fitness. The MHS Pawdcast is proudly sponsored by Reflections on Main Salon at 176 Main Street in Metuchen. The salon offers hair design, nail, waxing, and makeup services for all ages. They are committed to providing the best customer service in the industry, offering a tranquil environment with environmentally friendly products and top brand names. Call them at 732-205-9881 or visit their website at reflectionsonmainNJ.com. Reflections on Main, Middlesex County's premier full-service beauty salon. The MHS Pawdcast is also sponsored by Allstate Insurance at 63 Pearl Street in Metuchen. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Eddie Kalegi. It's time for our first club spotlight of the school year, and that's the Astronomy Club. To promote the club and the upcoming stargazing event, it's great to be joined by Club President and MHS Junior Sarah Terracina. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Eddie.
So before we get to the club itself, tell us a little about yourself. When did you first develop an interest in space?
So my whole life I've been surrounded by science, with my parents being chemists and biologists. And so my dad used to watch science documentaries all the time. And my favorite ones were the ones about space, because I just love the stars. And they had these beautiful graphics and beautiful photos, mostly from Hubble. And I was just so fascinated by them, and I wanted to learn more about them. And it was like sci-fi. And I just always wanted to learn more and just like stare at stars forever.
Now you mentioned a chemist parent and a biologist parent. So what steered you, is it just because of the documentaries or anything else, towards physics rather than chemistry or biology?
That's really good. I've never really thought about it, but it's true that biology and biochemistry is like super far off from physics. I guess just a big part of it was like knowing that I could do a science from like an early age, that it was like a thing you could do, is just study things. And the thing that really just fascinated me most was those beautiful photos. I was just always mesmerized by them, that they were there and they were huge. Like, they're huge, ginormous structures in space, far away from us, but we can still see them and see these beautiful colors, and the technology allowing us to do that is just incredible. And it, someday being a part of that would just be amazing, and it's a new frontier.
So do you plan on pursuing a career in astronomy?
That's a big question for me right now. It's something that I've always had to focus on, and something I really would like to do. But the thing with astronomy is it takes like a long time, and you have to be a professor. So I definitely want to do something with space. And I'm hoping that physics really I take a liking to physics this year with Mr. Kegel, which I probably will, hopefully. And I just want something with space, not specifically astronomy, but that's my favorite thing right now.
Well, you and Mr. Kegel are in charge of the Astronomy Club. Tell us a little about the club itself, and what are some plans for the upcoming school year?
Okay, so as the head, I really have a big focus on star parties. Star parties are a lot of fun because you can meet astronomers from around town, like Mr. Nelson, or from around the state. They come all over from the NJAA, the New Jersey Astronomical Society. They bring their own scopes, which are really much nicer than ours. Like, ours is very nice. We're very lucky to have it. But you can look through all other sorts of scopes, learn about how they work, how they made them, because a lot of them built them themselves. Mr. Nelson is really nice when he built. And it just gives you an opportunity to like talk science with people and be excited about it. But further on, with the Astronomy Club, I really just want to open the different facets of science. My real bigger thing is Astronomy Club is the focus, because the physics room inside, we have a telescope. But if you're interested in like another science, it's just really a pressure-free environment to like talk with science and learn about science and just do it for fun, because it might not sound fun to other people, but it's interesting, and it's basically like a discussion place where we can learn about it. And that's basically what I kind of want to make it, a place for friends to hang out and talk about science.
Well, one of the big events, you mentioned the star parties. This coming Friday, September 14th, is the Metuchen Stargazing event. What will be happening that night, and why should students come to the event?
Well, I really have a lot planned for that night. first of all, I've talked to Miss Nancy Goldberg, and it's supposed to be on the Metuchen town webpage, so you should see it up there on La Rosa's Facebook page. So I'm trying to get it, and I contact the NJAA guys. I'm trying to get everyone in the surrounding area to just come to Vitas Park on Friday. You don't have to bring anything. I just ask that you don't put your flashlights on your phone. That will really ruin it for a lot of people. And I just want people to just come. And if you do come, the biggest thing is that it's something beautiful. This town can seem really small sometimes, and I feel like people feel like there's nothing to do, or there's no opportunity to see something like fascinating. You know, we've already kind of know everywhere. But I feel like star parties offer an opportunity to go beyond like our town and our world. And seeing something beautiful like that and free, you know, it's really such an amazing opportunity. And you can learn about it. It's like a peaceful thing. And if you're an AP student for Kegel, you get extra credit, so...
Yep, a shout out to anyone in Mr. Kegel's class.
Get that extra credit.
Alright, so how can someone join the club? Who should they talk to if they have any interest in joining?
Well, I'm going to be putting flyers up around the school telling you to come to the physics room. And if you just come, I'm planning for them to be on Monday. But if Monday does not work for you, we can have another meeting. We can move it around depending on the week. Really, it's not like a set thing. It's really just for everyone to come together, talk science, talk cool things, watch YouTube videos about science and stuff, documentaries. You know, you should talk to me if you want to like change it around. Once we have like a couple more members, I'll just start to make a group chat. We can talk about it, when we want to meet, how we're going to go on trips like the observatory. Also, I want to go to a space fest in New York if we have that opportunity, if enough people show interest. So if you're just interested in science or anything really, or just the stars, if you just want to look at stars or figure out like what does a telescope do, or make your own telescope accessories, which I have a friend who's coming over this weekend who's helping me fix it for the star party and add handles. So it's really just, you know, no matter what you're interested in, you can just come and you can really just apply and talk about it and really just geek out over it. You know?
Now, you just mentioned the telescope, and I remembered one other thing that you were telling me about, how you kept the telescope over the summer. What was that like? Okay,
it was really nerve-wracking because I have two little sisters, and like my house is kind of crazy, and I was really protective of it. I don't want anyone near it. It's in like a corner of a room. I've like quarantined it. I did take it out a couple of times, and a big thing I noticed about astronomy is it really brings people together from all walks of life. You know, you don't have to be like the science kid in your class. Like that's like a thing I thought when I first came. Like, do I have to be like a smart person? Will I be like lost or something? A lot of like, I put my telescope out and I had some neighbors, you know, some guys I've never really talked to. They're older than me. They graduated, and I'd never talked to them. They're definitely not in my friend group, but they saw me with my telescope looking at Mars, and we started talking, and they were looking at my telescope. We're talking about how cool it was. So, you know, you really just want to see something like awesome, then you don't have to be like like super smart. You know, you just gotta like it.
All right, that's about all the time we have. Sarah Terracina, thanks for joining us, and best of luck with the astronomy club.
Don't forget to come to the star party, and if it's cloudy, which the weather says it might, it's the next Friday. But stay updated, and just ask me if you have any questions.
All right, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the MHS Podcast. A thank you to Josh Hyman and Sarah Terracina, and a thank you to all of our sponsors. I'm Eddie Kalegi. We'll see you next time on the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS.